Angry guy here, and men would thrive under communism, but women would not. Men would thrive under communism, but women would not. I wanted to discuss this topic a little bit today, you know? So, a lot of women are actually struggling very much financially with just basic living. And, we're going to jump into some of these videos and we're going to look at them. Let's go ahead and check out the first video.
I'm honestly so upset. Living in America is freaking ridiculous right now. There are people choosing whether they want to have Christmas gifts or pay their rent, and that might not be different from any other year. 2 to 3 grand on average. You need to make 2 to 3 times that. 9,000 a month. How many people with regular bachelor degrees are even making that? No one. Not a lot of people. No one wants to live with roommates. That's not the answer. Everybody deserves a safe and clean space. There's no reason why so many people should be roommating, or you can't even buy yourself your own house. This is horrible.
So how much more is going to have to happen for all of us to decide collectively to just start striking? Like, what else is going to have to happen before we all get together and decide we not taking it no more? Because I'm waiting for everybody to decide to quit their jobs. They can't punish all of us. They're going to have to do something if we all just stop working, we all stop paying rent. They can't put everybody out. So when is enough enough? Tell me. Because I've been ready to quit. Okay? I'm ready whenever y'all are. The current state of the world, it can't be sustained like this for too much longer. It's not possible. The rioting, the striking, the hottest summer ever, the sea animals are revolting, the aliens, it's the series finale, guys. It's about to be done anyways. We might as well go out with a bang and quit paying all this rent and do some traveling, see some sights that we ain't never seen before. Honestly, I think it's time, guys. I think it's time.
He's fixing to go on strike starting September 1st.
Go back and watch that. But yeah, everything she said. September 1st, we are going on strike. We're tired of this high-ass rent. These high-ass groceries. For one day, everybody stop spending money. Don't go to work. Go visit your family. Get you some fresh air. Once we stop as one, that's when y'all gonna realize that we got the power.
So, guys, a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying here and why men would thrive under communism, but women wouldn't. I'm specifically talking about in the US. Lunar says, wouldn't men be the ones paying into it? And wouldn't women get the most benefits? Well, here's the interesting thing. So that's a very interesting notion. Typically, the answer is yes, but that's only when men will actually work. Okay? That's only when men will actually work. So if we look at what life for women is under communism, it's interesting. It's absolutely interesting. So, I pulled up this information. You guys can see the screen. Life for women under communism vary greatly depending on the specific historical and geographical context. Here are some observations. Like men, women also face struggles to obtain basic consumer goods. However, some accounts suggest that women behind the Iron Curtain enjoyed greater physical satisfaction and more independence than their Western counterparts. Do you all really believe that? Social interaction. Women, like men, developed various tactics and strategies in their daily lives that allowed them to either accommodate or resist the regime. Economic conditions. Women also faced shortage of food, electricity, water, and other necessities. Class structure. Communism aimed to eliminate class distinctions and provide everyone with the same chance to create a life for themselves. However, in practice, there are often exceptions to this. Healthcare. In some communist countries, like the Soviet Union, there were claims of high life expectancy and a high ratio of doctors per person. Women's rights. Under communism, women found themselves with greater opportunities for autonomy and independence. The new Soviet regime sought to restructure society in new and radical ways, including for women. Divorce and deletion of gestations were liberalized. Gender, so basically you could love who you want, was decriminalized. Cohabitation between men and women was permitted. Unwanted loving in marriages was made illegal, and like I said, deletion of gestations was also legalized. Workplace. Women's level of education and employment increased dramatically in most communist states. Now, here's the thing. Remember, these are general observations, and the actual experiences can vary greatly. And it's also important to note the term communism can refer to a wide range of political systems and ideologies, each with its own unique characteristics and impacts on its citizens. Now, you might say, well, okay, so that means that women really thrive in communism. Well, not necessarily. You see, it seems that way, but it's not so true. If we look at what happened in Venezuela after socialism went downhill, well, socialism, things really changed. Women really struggled after socialism came to an end in Venezuela. Yeah, let's see. So let's look at life for women in Venezuela after socialism collapsed. Econ- the collapse of Venezuela's economy had a significant impact on women, both inside and outside of the country. Here are some key points. Economic impact. Women have been disproportionately affected by the economic crisis, with higher levels of unemployment than men and poor access to education and health services. Women often find themselves in disadvantaged positions. Many women who historically worked within the home found themselves unable to participate in the remnants of the formal economy due to lack of work experience. The crisis has also increased the number of women as heads of households. Political impact. Women have consistently been left out of political decision-making positions in the country, inhibiting any reconstruction plans from having a gender lens. This has affected Venezuela's ability to rebuild, as the demands of its female population are not adequately addressed. Very interesting stuff, guys. Health impact. Venezuela's collapsing public health system has disproportionately affected women and girls. A lack of effective policies for reproductive health, combined with the absence of family planning services, has altered women's reproductive health choices. This has led to a rise in maternal mortality, teenage pregnancy, STDs increasing, and unsafe deletion of gestations. And migration. The crisis has driven many Venezuelans to migrate, with women being disproportionately affected by the difficult decision to migrate. Many Venezuelan women arriving in other countries are at high risk of a variety of different things, including being deleted and taken advantage of. And these conditions have made life extremely challenging for women in Venezuela after the economic collapse. However, it's important to note that the situation can vary greatly depending on the individual circumstances. And I read that to you guys because I want you to think about everything very, very carefully. I want you to think about how men are in Western society right now, how men are surviving in Western society, and specifically in America. I want you to think about that and take that into consideration, because most men today have been working hard, working crazy hours, for so many years. What life under communism would actually be like for men and women if it came to Western society is pretty intriguing. Most men don't need a lot to survive. And for men, it's basically about skill sets. If we ended up in such a cycle in a Western society, men would basically just work on developing skill sets, while women would expect to receive things. If in such a society, the basics would be handed to men. Food, all right, so shelter would be immediate. Men would automatically not have to worry about shelter. Check this out. Lunar says, I work 60 hours a week at a factory. Guys, 60 hours a week, right? This is kind of what I'm getting at. That's basically what I'm getting at. So right now, this dude is working 60 hours a week at a factory. Now imagine communism. Communism, I'm not saying it's wonderful, but think about this in Western society. Right now, between rent and food, we're spending everything we have. However, under communism, men would basically be given a home. So you wouldn't have, so even if you don't work, you would still have basically you don't have to put in that much. So men would not work very much. Men would not work very hard in society. Men would men would basically just pull back and say, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go chill." They would only work. Men would work very, very little because everyone is equal. Think about it. So men would pull back in society. If they have a roof over their head, if men don't have to work to keep a roof over their head, that's right then and there. That's a big part of the struggle completed. And if you talk about consumer goods, again, men don't need a lot to survive. You get a lot of guys will be fine with a simple laptop. You know, import a laptop from like a MacBook Air from like 2012, but 8 gigabytes of RAM. And a lot of dudes are just fine with that. With a decent laptop, guys, most dudes are just fine with a decent laptop, and they can watch some videos and play some video games. If they can, and even if they can't, if they don't have access to that, men don't need a lot. Guys will go off into the wilderness, go into the woods, hunt for their food, and men will find ways to entertain themselves. This is something that women cannot do very easily. Women cannot entertain themselves very easily. They look to men to entertain them. If you have not noticed that, women cannot entertain themselves. So while men, on the other hand, we find ways to entertain ourselves. So even if we don't have access to significant amounts of consumer goods, we are fine with just the very basics. Okay, most of us could live happily out of a backpack and sleep on the floor. Now think about this. Under communism, oh, you don't have to worry about paying for this house. You don't have to worry about any of these things. Men would do the bare minimum, y'all. Men would do the bare minimum. And the thing is that, if you have men are going to put in the work. So, an underground would just develop, and men would trade amongst themselves, and they would trade things for skill. They'd trade their using skills and a variety of other things. They would build things for themselves, and a lot of them would grow their own food in their backyards, and they would save. This is something that men do. Men would figure out how to economize and stretch things. So, for example, if you get certain amounts of food and water, men would turn around and they would make exquisite meals out of whatever they had, and they would live pretty well. It's again, women. It's women who, guys, men figure out how to deal with things. Men can live on very, very little, very, very little. You give a guys a couple cans of corn, peas, and a little bit of meat, and guys will figure out how to turn that into 1 week's worth of food. I'm just being very, very honest. Like, guys will figure out how to take that, turn it into 1 week's worth of food, make candy out of it, and a variety of other things. Guys will take lemon peels, use sugar, and make candy. This is how men are. Men will begin making candy out of different things. This is how they used to do it back like in the Great Depression in other countries. Men will make candy out of nothing. All right. And it's crazy. And then they'll store it, and they'll trade it amongst themselves, or sell it if they can. This is the truth. This is the honest to goodness truth. Guys would basically take take garbage and turn it into food, and live quite comfortably. And for example, give a guy an NES, Super NES. Oh my gosh, a guy with the Super NES and a couple of games, great. PlayStation 2 and some games, great. Men don't need a lot to survive. As men, we don't need a lot to survive. Many of us, a couple of books, a sketchbook, whatever. Some things to read. We'll give us our dog. All right, a lot of us could literally live in the woods with our dog very easily and very happily. So if men have a roof over their heads, men will build most of the things around them. If they want to, men will create whatever they need. This is how men are. We're very innovative, and we have a lot of ingenuity. Even the most simplest of men will figure out how to create this. Like, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this. Like, okay, I don't have this. I'll build this for myself. And within a short period of time, a lot of guys would be living in surplus, in absolute surplus. If you look at how so many guys are living in Western society, it's pretty terrible right now. Like, guys everything that men work for today is basically just being taken away from them. So, under communism, a lot of guys wouldn't, if everyone gets the same amount, but it wouldn't stay that way, because whatever women would get, they would spend. They would spend everything. Any money they get, they would spend every dime of it. Men would begin saving every bit of men would save everything that they have, and they would look for ways to turn that money into something hard. Be it through acquisition of things, or acquiring stuff. For example, guys might purchase broken things on the wholesale market or whatever market, to fix them and turn around and sell them and make a profit off it. Again, you would have an under market and a black market, and a lot of guys would thrive in that. Yeah, like yeah, Lunar said, Super Mario World is still a great game, guys. Give a dude a SNES, give him a Super Nintendo. All right, couple of games, he's happy. He's happy. He can play them forever. He'll go back. He'll start keeping track of the hours, the amount of time he plays. Like if you have internet in the country, you still have you'll have letter boards popping up, people comparing their time. You know, guys will interact in forums. Men can keep themselves happy with very, very little. We don't have, guys, we live very hard lives as men. We live very hard lives as men. We would thrive compared to the way we are living in Western society. We would just basically say, ha 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 ha. We're not going to work very hard anymore. Okay? And chances are we'd still have cell phones. So, guys, think about this Western society. We have access to our cell phones. We still have the internet. We still have the internet, decent internet. We have cell phones. We have a roof over our head that's given to us by the government. And we'll base and anything we need, we'll go out and we'll get whatever we need. And we will live very comfortably because we don't need a lot. Hang out with our friends. Seriously, like y'all think about it. We'd hang out with our friends. If we wanted alcohol, we would just make our own alcohol. Okay? This is what happens think about how dudes operate in prison. Like literally, guys, this would be nothing for us. This would be nothing for us. We would literally be brewing our own alcohol and creating our own beer. We would literally just be chilling. Okay? And we'd literally say, okay, well, we don't have a lot of we would hoard our skills. We wouldn't be going out there working hard, laboring crazy hours. We would honestly try to take the easiest of work that we can and act like idiots. Like, I'm an idiot. I don't know how to do anything. Literally, I'll sweep the street. I'll sweep the street. I'll pick up animal poo poo. Like this is I'm so serious. Like that's how bad we would be. You're literally out here like, yo, I'll pick up animal poo poo. I'll pick up garbage off the street. But that's what we would do, and then we would just use our skill sets to enhance our lives. And what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do to us? This is communism. Everybody gets the same, and we're not gonna work any harder than we have to. And guys, it would be literally a complete chill adventure. Like literally, for example, imagine getting an Xbox 360. There's a lot of great games on the Xbox 360. All right. So for us guys, Xbox 360 and a ton of games from Xbox 360, we would never have it. Guys, we don't need a lot to survive. We don't need a lot. People in these countries, they look at America and they're like, oh, you guys have everything. We have to, guys, we don't have. We have to pay for every single thing. And it's so much. I mean, we work and we then work some more, And so, I mean, in this, if you applied communism to America, where men are no longer marrying or having children, guys, think about it. We're not marrying, we're not having children. Communism would be pretty damn wonderful for us. We'd literally just be enjoying ourselves. We would be enjoying ourselves, and we would not give a damn. I'm telling you, it's how reality is, but you have to wake up to it, and realize that nothing lasts forever. And this is a result of the decisions that were made, that some people made in society. Women would have it hard because everything would be limited for them. They're the ones who need a lot. We don't need a lot from them. We barely go to the doctor. We only go when we're very, very sick. But under such a system, it would be they would have more, resources would be less accessible for them, And for us, it would be a joke. We would be good. Think about this. We don't have to pay for health care. So we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about housing. So we don't have to worry about that. Whatever food we get, we're going to take it and stretch it and make it into more. We will literally take banana peels and turn banana peels into candy and all kinds of stuff. Like I said, orange peels. And we will do all kinds of insane stuff. We will literally take seeds and grow food at home. We will save the seeds from our food and grow extra things in the backyard. Modern women won't do that. We'll do these things. Give it a few months, and then we'll start. I will develop a trade system. We'll start trading with one another. And we'll leverage our skills and whatever we create ourselves. Women can't do that. They cannot do that, and they won't do that. I'm just telling you, just like think about how hard our lives is. Let me look at this right here. Let's see here. So Villainous says, yo, Angry, have you heard about microchinerism? If so, what do you think? If not, I'd recommend looking into it. It sounds like a term. Microchimerism. Let me have a look at that. Microchimerism. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something pretty interesting. Microchimerism is a phenomenon in which cells from one individual are found in another individual. In humans, the most common form of microchimerism. Microchimerism. In humans, the most common form of microchimerism is fetal-maternal microchimerism, whereby cells from a fetus pass through the placenta and establish cells lineage within the mother. During pregnancy, cells from the fetus cross the placenta and enter the mother's body, where they can become part of the tissue. This means that the mother carries unique genetic material from their children's bodies, creating a biology. Okay, you guys see what I'm talking about? Like you leave it to men. Leave it to men, and what do men do? They start exploring all types of subjects, jumping into all types of different things. Let's have a look here. Let's look at some more of the comments. So let's look at some more of what you're saying. So Mr. Kilroy said, "Are you insane? No one would thrive in communism." Again, think about how hard in Western society in America, men would just stop working. Men would not work more than they have to. I mean, Rixie says my cell phone is only used for business. And other than that, I rarely use it. Lunar says, ever try to beat some Mario World with no power-ups and trying to avoid coins and spin jumps only? Heck, I remember watching Proton John playing ROM hacks of Mario. Like I said, men would make their own entertainment. Like when you look at the hard lives that we live as men, we would make our own entertainment. We really, really would. I don't know. I really think that things have gotten to the point where, we're walking away from Western society and, a society where we're just handed a roof over our heads. We're guaranteed a certain amount of food as men. Think about this. We get access to health care. Guys, that's the life for us. That's the absolute life for us. We don't need a lot. We'd just be chilling. We'd literally just be chilling. Rest says, love your content, Angry. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look, guys, check out this video. Let's look at this other video from this one where she's like crying her out, like just like screaming and hollering.
To fill up the tank today. $98 fucking dollars. $98 fucking dollars. I have to decide between buying gas or buying food. And guess who wins? Because I have to get to the job that I need to fucking buy anything at all. That doesn't pay me enough. And people want to donate $1,000 to fucking cats. $98 goddamn dollars at Costco to fill up my tank. $98. $4.50 a tank. $5.50 a gallon. At Costco, $5.50 a gallon at Costco. This is the work of the fucking religious right. Listen to Robert Reich, who
What's up, guys? We got a person that's ranting about gas prices. My question is, I wonder who this person voted for. And it's just a legitimate question. I'm not even being funny about it. Well, maybe I am, but still, I wonder who this person voted for. I wonder who this person gonna vote for the next election, though. We all gotta suffer this because we got a bunch of stupid people who vote for shit like this. I mean, I can only imagine, you probably voted for this shit and then now you so pissed off about it. And then you want to make a fucking rant about it. Good. I mean, it seems like some people are starting to get the point. But gotta suffer harsh consequences for this shit. Another thing is, should women vote? But that's another topic though. But that's still a legitimate question. Anyway, what are y'all thoughts? Like, share, comment. Don't forget to.
I mean, guys, think about it. Like I said, this is the reality of it. Men are tired. We're tired. It's like a lot of y'all are like, communism would be that bad. Like, really, if they actually got it to work, bro, we'd just be chilling. We would just be chilling we would just not do anything. We would literally do the bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum, because there's no you have to understand that for it to work, there has to be a sense of unity amongst the people. We are individualist in Western society, while in most communist countries they are collectivists. So they're about the collective. They're about the group. We're more about the individual. So we would basically just be focusing on ourselves and our everyday needs and living. We wouldn't be worrying about anyone else for the most part. I wouldn't be worrying about my neighbor. I don't give a damn about him, unless he could do something for me. We could do some trade together. That's about it. It's the truth. It's the honest to goodness truth. It would be women who would struggle the most. Think about American women trying to survive in communism. Think about the lifestyles that these people live and them trying to survive in communism. It wouldn't work, y'all. It absolutely would not work. With the kind of lifestyles that they have, they couldn't do it. They would be absolutely miserable. They couldn't afford food. They could not afford absolutely anything. They would literally be crying all the time because, they feel overwhelmed and they don't have what they need. And for us men, it wouldn't mean nothing. We'd just be chilling. We would literally just be chilling. Let me read some more of these comments. Y'all. Right? He says, I agree. I do not care about other Americans. I live most of my life depending on myself and some close family members. That's what I'm saying, guys. It would be a vacation for us. And there would be really, what are they going to do? For example, to get men to go and protect the government or work. Look at what's happening in New York. All the cops are quitting. They're going to have the lowest level of police officers in New York since the 1990s. And this is a result of, taking in so many different people that they can't provide for. Are you serious? Y'all want to tell me that New York could not hold down a couple 100,000 people? Couple hundred, because you have the migrants and they couldn't hold down a couple 100,000 people. Come on, y'all. Come on. That's why I said it would be women would be the ones most affected by this. We would just be literally living, just relaxing, kicking our feet up and not giving a damn. And most, we're not collectivists. We are individualists. So we would all walk away. MWA, men walking away. Men would take a seat. Men would 100% take a seat. That's why I said we would thrive. It would be a vacation for us. And the government, what are they going to do? How are they going to operate if they can't get men to do things? For example, just to get men in their own government, in Western society to say, okay, I'm going to go out and move these men. They're going to have to reward them. They're going to have to give them special privileges like access to more food and more food and all of these. Okay, we'll give you a nicer house, or we'll give you more food, and we'll give you a car and stuff like that. That's to motivate them to do anything. And for example, if they came and got us and said, okay, we're going to send you to go and work. It doesn't make any sense. We're not going to use our skills to create. The most that they could do is try to put us in, make us do labor, and we'll just basically do the bare minimum. We're not going to innovate. We're not going to work harder. We're not going to work 60 hours unless they force us to work 60 hours. We're not going to go and study quantum physics, structural engineering, and all of these various things that are needed to keep society going, where none of us are going to do these things. Like all these advanced jobs, we're not going to do any of these things. We're going to do the bare minimum. If we have a roof over our heads and some food coming to us, food and water, roof over our heads, we're not going to, and some entertainment, y'all, we would just be literally hanging out with our friends, going fishing. We'd be chilling. Most men would absolutely be chilling. I'm telling y'all. Like, Clodagh says, I don't think they would be handmaids because that takes a level of skill. Most women couldn't even handle that. They really couldn't handle that. You know what's interesting? Luna said that, wait, has New York even been paying their cops? They are broke. You know what's up with that? So I was reading about that, and evidently, like they literally stopped overtime, so the cops cannot even work overtime anymore. So they're not hiring any new police officers in New York, and over 2,000 police officers have quit so far. More police officers are quitting, and so you literally have no cops. Like the cops are just vanishing off the streets, and everyone's like, it's okay. Like they're like cutting summer school programs, so the children already can't read. So you're gonna have all these kids that are gonna be on the streets in 2024, because if they're not home, if they're not in school or they're not in after school programs, where are they gonna be? They're gonna be in the streets. They're gonna be in the streets, so unless something else happens, because it's an election year, and everyone has to stay inside. Wink, wink. Like we have like another 2020. But other than that, the kids are going to, and even then you had kids in the streets. Kids are going to be in the streets. They're going to be in the streets. Let me see here. Kevin said, Amish seemed to figure it out a long time ago. Exactly. Life would be so much easier. It would be absolutely easier. Like, what would women basically be living like under communism? Because think about the extravagant lifestyles that women need. Women need so much to live. They want to eat well, they want to sleep well, they want to have their homes really well decorated. They want nice cars and everything. They wouldn't have any of that, guys. Think about it. Under communism in America, they wouldn't have any of these things. And whatever they do have, they don't know how to women don't know how to budget, they don't know how to save, they have no financial literacy. So if you gave them food, they would basically eat all of it. They would eat everything all at once. They would eat everything all at once, and then go look for men to help them. And when you look at the relationship between men and women in Western society today, dudes aren't going to give their food up to women. Dudes are not. I mean, like you'd have some very nasty things happening, but most dudes aren't going to give up their food. Dudes would be storing their food up and just chilling. Guys, we would have food for days. Even though it's hard, we have our skill sets. We would have food for days. Okay? I'm not saying communism is easy whatsoever, but we would have food for days. We would plan ahead. We are so as men, we have this ingenuity that's insane. Like I already know what I would be doing. I already get, like, if there's anything that I can make into food, I'm making it into food. I'm making it into food. I'm stretching it out. Networking with other men who have skill sets that I don't have, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it because think about it. You already have shelter covered. You already have the aspect of shelter covered as men, right? So what else? So the only other, and you're gonna have you have the basics: a bed to sleep in, a television. These are very basic things. A television, if even that, most men don't even need a television. A place to cook, a fire pit, place to cook food. Guys, we'd have everything. We'd be just fine. It'd be women who couldn't do any of these things. It'd be women who would be struggling to do any of these things, while we would basically be just chilling. And things would just continue to go downhill further and further until, hopefully some other country comes and takes us over. Let me see here. Leonidas, shout out to Leonidas, says that so the cops are basically disappearing, so we got Tyrone to help out. He got FEMA camps. There'd be a lot of camps. There will be a lot of camps. Dark Saiyan says competence is a man's pleasure and purpose. It's exactly, guys, think about it. We have, that's the thing, we have competence. We have competence. We take accountability for ourselves. Women would basically continually say that they're victims. So basically, the government would control every move that they make. They're like, okay, oh, you're a victim. So, we have to take care of you. We have to make sure that they would have no autonomy. They would really have very limited autonomy. 10 cities, exactly. Exactly. You know, it is what it is. It really is what it is. But you have to wake up and realize that nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And men have it's been coming for a long time. Rest says the grasshopper and the ant story pops into my head every time I hear about this conversation. It really is true. Like, guys, like, I'm looking at my situation more and more right now, and I'm just like, basically, I'm single, and I'm just like just like piling up my cash. Like, I was very sick for the last couple of years. That's why I was not on YouTube. I was extremely sick for 2 years, and basically, I had to just fight my way out of it, and I'm a lot better now. I'm a lot better, and all I'm doing is putting up, like, piling up cash, like piling up cash. I'm just like piling. I've been studying, learning different things, learning about credit, and as a result of that, I've increased my credit limit, so I don't even spend money. I don't spend my own money anymore. I don't spend my own money to buy anything. I spend your money. I spend everyone else's money. I don't spend my own money to buy anything anymore. What I do with my money is I put it in the bank and I just pile it up, and I'm just basically stacking my bills right now, just stacking my bills, and that's what a lot of y'all are doing too. Because I hear from y'all, a lot of y'all are just stacking paper right now. Men walking away, men who are single, not having children, not engaged in relationships. That's all we're doing right now. Like, we're just all stacking paper. We are all just stacking paper right now. You know, and most Americans, if you look at most Americans, they're on social media crying their eyes out, specifically women, saying that they're going to go on strike. And then while you have a bunch of these other lunatics who are like, everything's okay, everything's going to be okay. And they know it's not. They absolutely know it's not. They're miserable. They don't know what to do. And they're trying to comfort one another. They're trying to comfort one another with a load of BS. Let me look at this right here. This comment. Villainous says, angry, look up anarcho-capitalism. It's essentially a total free market. And what I was getting at with microchimerism is that women will absorb their mate or mate's genetic code and change. Okay, cool. Yeah, Dark says, yeah, for real, bro. Been building credit for like years and gym work. Like, that's really, like, guys, think about it. Like, we're stacking our money, we're working on our bodies, we're building on skill sets. What are modern women doing? They're basically trying to bum free meals off men. Like, that's all they're doing right now. Is like, they're all living off men. They're all trying to live off the simp economy and bum free meals off men. Like, really, where is that going to take them? Like that's how they're living right now. That's how they're paying their bills, off simps right now.
Every time I come to Walmart, the fucking prices go up. Bitch, I come shopping every 2 to 3 weeks. Tell me why this shit was literally $40 something and now it's $5.87, $8 for fucking turkey. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And am I gonna buy it? Yeah, I am.
She's gonna buy it because she has no choice. She has literally no choice but to buy it. But the difference is with us, we have plenty of choices. We have a lot of choices because we have all the value. We're the ones with the value. We're the ones with the options. Dark Saiyan says, at the end of the day, women are going to need us as society continues to get worse. They need us to subsidize their living. They can't live right now. Modern women cannot live right now. They cannot do anything. They cannot provide for themselves. Like, they are struggling right now. They are 100% struggling right now. Processed meat. Censor says processed meat. Yeah, I mean, it is. That's what it is. Like, some of y'all are like, oh, I love Lunchables, bro. That's no way to live. Like, I've said this before. And I'll say it again. Like, when we talk about, people who don't know how to cook, men know how to cook. Men know how to cook. The top chefs in the world are all white dudes. The top chefs in the world are all white dudes. Like, have you seen Chef Rush? Chef Rush is this big black chef, and he doesn't mess around. He doesn't mess around. Okay, and like there's like these skits that he does. Like he has these white guys with him, and he's constantly like punishing them if they mess up. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it's no joke. The truth of the truth is, when we talk about people who don't know how to cook and don't know how to season food, it's women in general. It's women in general. Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to season food. They don't know how to do any of these things. They really don't, because they see it as an act of servitude. And they think of it as like bowing down. Like think about it carefully. I have so many of you guys that are in the comments that are going on about how you're seasoning up your slabs of meat and chopping this up, and a lot of y'all are chopping up in the kitchen. Like, most of you guys can take care of yourselves just fine. I don't need to tell you that. But women, on the other hand, they cannot take care of themselves. They don't have the skill sets of their grandmothers. They cannot sew. As men, we can learn to sew. They cannot sew. They cannot cook. They cannot clean. These women cannot even clean for themselves. Many of them don't even know how to do laundry. They use laundry services to do everything. They can't repair anything, so they don't know how to use a hammer. They don't know how to use like anything. So they can't fix something if it's broken. They have to call a delivery guy. They have to call a repair guy. If the toilet gets clogged, what do? They have to call a man. If our toilet gets clogged, we will literally find ways to unclog our toilet. Like, that's something interesting. Like, if you go to YouTube and you look up videos like how to unclog a toilet, most of the people who are teaching people how to unclog toilets are men. 100% men. When you go to YouTube and you look up the biggest channels like on how to cook and prepare things, like for example, making foods in prison, making food in dorm rooms, making food in general. Who has these channels? Men. All men. When it comes to doing pretty much anything, it's pretty much all men. Everything from financial literacy to how to survive and thrive in the woods, men. Because women are too good for it. Women are too good to do anything. They're too good for cooking. They're too good for cleaning. They're too good for survival skills. They believe that their presence is enough for survival. Like, they think that their presence is enough in a relationship. They say that they are the table, and without them, no babies. Like, they really think that men really care like that. Like, in a survival situation, they think that men are like, okay, fine, I have to compromise and give you what you want, and take care of you, or the human race is going to come to an end. Oh man, you've got me. Dudes are gonna say, yeah, I'm just gonna survive on my own. I'm gonna do whatever I can to survive. I don't care about what happens. And it's not like a situation where, oh, there's not enough people. There are plenty of people, and there's still going to be children born. Like, y'all are going to go out there and be 304s one way or another. 304 will always be a 304. Okay? Just don't expect me to take care of those kids, because they won't be mine. And that's really how it's going to be. That is really how it's going to be. We're up to 41 viewers. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? I remember back when I used to have the other channel, we used to get like over 100 viewers at once. We used to have a lot of people watching these videos at one time. I guess one of the big reasons is that I have to be more consistent. I've really got to stream probably on a daily basis. But that's something I have to really think about. Like, should I be doing a daily stream for you guys again? And, because, would I benefit from it? Because, time is money. Time is 100% money. But, getting together with you guys, entertaining you guys, spending time with you guys, that's also very important. Building that relationship, always make you feel like you're getting more than you're getting, a lot for your time. Let me see here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Censored says, exactly, learned me some quality meals over the years. Like, y'all ever see Chef Ramsay throw down? Like, do you see how Chef Ramsay will get on someone if they don't properly season their food? If they don't properly season their meat? Like, men don't play around. It's women who basically think they're too good for everything. They're too good for cooking. They're too good for cleaning. They're too good for like basic skill sets. They're too good for everything. They need to be handed everything because they are too good. They're too good for it. Until they wake up one day and realize, yeah, that's not going to work, Felicia. That's not going to work, Felicia. Hard times are here, Felicia. You're going to have to put on your big girl jeans, Felicia. Hard times are here, babe. Hard times are here, baby girl. Gonna have to pull it together, sweetie. Oh my goodness. Let's read some more of your comments, guys. Let's read some more comments. Villainous says they were reprogrammed to be corporate workers, double the force and the price of man hours, and manpower gets cut in half. Absolutely. Absolutely. Azor says you'll get back to where you were angry. I was around during the Migglypuff days. Yeah, oh good. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's been like a wild ride, if you know, because like we've got channels grown so much, but it's like it's a different community with the Passport Bros, a completely different community because the men walking away. It's the Migglypuffs will always be there, and women at this point, women are just like doing their jobs for them. Like the Migglypuffs don't have to do anything because the Migglypuffs used to be kind of, I don't want to use the word, I don't want to use the word hate, but it used to be a very mean community. They don't have to do anything anymore. Modern day women are just doing so much, especially with M2 Part 2, that all the Migglypuffs have to do is just sit back, because a lot of dudes are just furious. Like a lot of dudes will never get married, have children, or have any relationship. Like they won't. A lot of men will not become Passport Bros. Just let's put that out there. While the Passport Bros is a thing, a lot of men will never become Passport Bros. A lot of men will literally say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I don't want to get involved with anyone. I'm just going to go my own way entirely, like walk away from everything and focus on my own happiness. Like that is really the future. That is so very much the future for a lot of things. And like we have to kind of like wake up and realize it. Because like there's no, women don't realize what they've really done. They don't realize that men are like, yeah, we're done with society. We're like 100% done with society. We're not going to play this game anymore. Dragon says, Angry, do you think men have a chance to evolve without women, using tech to create our own kids and economy? The artificial, yes, we do. 100%. 100%. And I think that's one of the reasons why women will be so fanatical to prevent men from walking away. But they don't know how to keep a man. They don't know how to compete for a man. All they know how to do is to use insult, shame, and guilt to try to, and while claiming to be victims and saying that men are villains and believing that that's going to keep men around. Like they absolutely resent us. They resent us. They don't like us, but they resent the fact that they need us. So it's for them. It's like it's just pretty much over in that way. And yes, we will evolve without them. The problem is that they like guys, as men start going overseas to other countries. Let me tell y'all right now, women are going to follow them. Like women are going because it's going to become, America is such an expensive place to live that you're going to have a lot. It's going to become a larger thing it's going to become much larger on a bigger basis of men leaving Western society, and women are going to follow men overseas. And it's literally going to be, okay, where to relocate, like we're going to relocate to these countries. Like you're going to have articles from like, even it's going to go mainstream, like leaving Western society, leaving America is going to become a mainstream thing because people can no longer survive here. So it's going to become mainstream, and women are going to be following men overseas, and women are going to be, not only are they going to follow men, but they're going to try to have relationships with Western men. Because here's the thing, what are you going to do? Marry a dude from over there? Those men are not men in those countries. They're only going to marry these women if these women will take care of them and provide for them. Like if they go to other countries and they want a man, they're going to have to, the men that they marry are basically going to be there only for the women to provide for them. They're not going to be in love with these women. They're not, and women want men who can provide for them. They're not going to find these men over there. So these masculine women are going to have to stay in their masculine. And it's literally going to be everything. They're going to have to do everything for themselves. They're not going to have a lot of support. Like that white picket fence, that dream it's over for most women today. It's absolutely over for most women, but they really don't want to accept it. They're in complete and utter denial. Like women in Western society are in complete and utter denial over their situation. Most of them they will not and cannot acknowledge what has happened and what they've lost. It's just the honest truth. It's really just the honest truth. Theo says, pay the pays to buy food in bulks, guys. Went to Costco, blew about $1,000, 2 cartloads, food, cleaner, some meats, deli, etc. Going to be cooking meals to take to work. Ladies depend on DoorDash and expensive. That's what I'm talking about. Like, guys, we're good. We are so good. Like without marrying and having children, we're thriving. We live in a surplus, and as many of us begin to go overseas, do remote work, it's over. Even those of us that don't do remote work, I've said this, many of us will have homes overseas. Like many of you may not believe it now, but you'll be shocked a few like years from now. Many of you will have a home in the Dominican Republic, or in some Caribbean, on some Caribbean island, or in Mexico, someplace in Mexico. I'm so serious. A lot of you will have homes in Mexico, or somewhere in that you can fly out to within a few hours out of the U.S. And you'll basically only be here making your money, and then you'll take off. And a lot of you will have like rental properties, because that's going to be a big thing that a lot of you will be doing. Because guys, I call a lot of it a big thing that a lot of men will do from Western societies. They'll go overseas and they'll lay the foundation, and they'll get a bunch of rental properties, and they'll rent them out to other men. They'll rent them out to other men, specifically men who want to leave the United States and want to go overseas, but they don't know how to do it. They'll go and they'll get a bunch of rental properties. They'll rent rooms out to these dudes. They'll rent a property out to these dudes, and they might say, "Okay, well, I'll only charge you $500 a month." When I'm only going to charge you $500 a month for this, to rent this property. And some dude's like, "Oh my gosh, only $500?" Yep, $500. And for the average dude, that's nothing. $6,000 a year to rent an entire house, but you're only renting it yourself for like a couple hundred, for like $120, $150 a month. But for another guy, it makes perfect sense. Like a lot of men, they don't care the fact that you're only spending $150 a month to rent it, because guess what? You've taken off care of all the hard work for them. Their deal is with you, so they don't have to get involved with the locals. They don't have to do any of that. All of this nonsense, you're already doing that for them. So they see it as a complete win. So a lot of you will go around and get a couple of properties, rent out a couple of properties, and set up shop and start renting it out to Americans and Westerners, and start pulling in thousands of dollars. A lot of you will have like 3 or 4 properties that you're just renting from other people, and then repurposing or turning into Airbnbs, and you will be making thousands of dollars a month doing that. Azor said $500 a month. Hell, sign me up. That's what I said. That's what I said. Like, you guys are going to be living. Y'all don't even know your own worth. Y'all don't even know your own worth. Most women will never be able to do this because they don't have it. Women will never have it better than they do in Western society, and they're saying that Western society doesn't support women. Let me see here. Dragon Lord says, my favorite cousin comes over to trade recipes from my crock pot meals. She's 32, a mother, and doesn't know how to do a crock pot. I feel bad for my nephew. It's how modern day women are, to be honest with y'all. It's really how they are. It's really, really how they are. Modern day women, they look at everything kind of like, it's about me. It's about me. And I say to myself, you know what? Okay, so you think it's about you? If you think it's all about you, then, you're going to find yourself between a rock and a hard place. You're going to find yourself really, really struggling and really, really suffering. Because modern day women, they haven't had to work for anything. And because they haven't had to work for things, now it's going to catch up to them. Now it's going to be really hard on them. And nobody's crying. Nobody's going to cry for them. No one's going to say, oh, poor baby. No one's going to say poor baby, because they brought that onto themselves. They chose that for themselves. They chose that life for themselves. Let me see here. Don, he says, yo, nice random stream. You're welcome, bro. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Glad you're enjoying it. Time is money, though. Sensor says, I got my daily rants while waging or doing my chores. Guys, like, like, for example, raising children for men would be easy because we basically optimize everything. We basically organize our schedules around what we have to do, where we have to be with the children. We figure out how to control it, how to control children. Here's the thing about children. Children learn how to control their emotions from their fathers, not their mothers. So what would men do very quickly? We would quickly teach our children how to control their emotions. So you are less likely to have a bunch of children running around the house, screaming and hollering, because men would teach their children quickly without being too hard on them. Like, okay, this is how you control your emotions. This is how you do things, and they'd be happier. So within a short period of time, those kids would know how to control their emotions. And by knowing how to control their emotions, it's like a lot of that stress would go away. Not only would we teach our kids how to control their emotions, we'd be teaching our kids, all the skills that they would need. We teach them how to read, how to write, and we would do it much faster and much more optimally. Like, as men, we can take care of our kids entirely. We are powerhouses. Women have such easy lives, and they create nothing other than chaos. It's true. It's true. Like Rihi says, women raise children, men raise adults. It's like that. All they do is play with the baby, and they complain. Guys, think about this. The house is a mess. Oh, why is the house a mess? Women act like, oh, it's so hard. Why is the house a mess? The house is a mess because you allow it to get out of mess. You allow it to become a mess because you're not overseeing the children properly. Because you're the one who threw it. Oh, the kids put all the stuff here. The kids put all the clothing here. No, you did. You did. It's very, very simple to keep the house clean. If you have kids who are growing up, you basically just put hampers everywhere. And you say, okay, kids, put your stuff here. Put your stuff in here. Put your stuff there. It's really, really very, very easy. You basically create a system for your children. You create a system for them, and you reward good behavior and punish bad behavior. Okay? So, for example, they want this. Okay, well, did you put your stuff in here? And it's just little stuff. And you're basically teaching them how to organize. Eventually, in many cases, you won't even need to do that because your kids will be much happier not laying around in their own crap and not laying around in their own filth. Teach your kids, kids, if you do this, your room won't stink all the time. Your sheets won't stink all the time. And you get them set. You basically, it's kind of like what the Filipinos do. You get them basically used to the routine, and you do this and you raise them this way. They're going to do these things naturally, and they're going to be happy. They're going to be happy because they can take care of themselves and they can be self-sufficient. And the fact that you're raising your kids on your own, because you're raising them and as a man, and you're starting them off at a very young age, teaching them how to control their emotions. By the time they're 7 and 8, they're going to have superior control over their emotions. So they're going to be more mature than modern day kids and children raised by single mothers. I'm just being real. I'm just being very honest about it. I'm just being very, very honest about it. Women in Western society, they take everything for granted. They take men for granted. They should really count their blessings. They really should count their blessings, but they don't. They absolutely don't, because they think that life is for free. They think that everything is for free, and everything should be handed to them, and they don't realize that someone has to work for that. But they don't care. They really don't. I tell you guys, you have to wake up and realize that nothing lasts forever. Anyway, guys, let me see here. Let me know if you guys want me to keep streaming in the comments. Let me know. Type keep streaming if you want me to keep streaming, but I expect some supers. I definitely expect some supers if you want to keep streaming. But let me know if you want me to keep streaming, and I will keep streaming and maybe just go and take a step away for a moment. Put up the what do you call it? The be back in a few minutes. Let me know if you guys want me to keep streaming. Got 46 in here. 46 people watching. 46 people watching. Let's see here. Theo says, ask these women to skin a deer for food. They won't. Guys, I'll tell you something that I learned how to do while I was living in Mexico. I learned how to skin rabbits. I literally went, got rabbits, and I learned how to take their, unalive them and skin them. And it was something that I knew I had to do, because one of my favorite shows is actually Naked and Afraid. Censored says, keep it. Yeah, okay. So it looks like you guys want me to keep streaming. This is what I'm going to do, guys. I am going to go. Let me see here. Hemphobic says keep streaming. So you guys are enjoying yourselves. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a bathroom break. I'm going to step away, go to the bathroom. I'm going to take a little John's break. I'll allow you guys to do that as well. And I think we'll give, how much time should we give you guys? I think 5 minutes is good enough. Okay, so we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Put it on for you guys, and you guys can step away, go use the bathroom, grab a drink or something. We'll be right back. Right back with the Angry Guys show. I mean, guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Modern day women just have made their bed. They really have. They chose this life. They said, you know what, we're going to be about this life. We're going to be, we're going to choose to keep living this way, and they're going to face the social repercussions of doing that. They are going to face the repercussions of doing that, you know. And let's see here. Villainous says, keep streaming, but use topics discussed in the chat. All right. Let's see some of the topics that you guys have here. All right. So, Dragon Lord said, it would surprise me if Gen Alpha went full tyrant mode on humanity. A full 1984 with robot drones, okay, with firearms. That would surprise me. Well, Gen Alpha are going to be they're going to be known as meta. It's going to basically be meta heads. So they're going to be the first generation to get lost in the metaverse, because the metaverse it was not built for millennials. It was built for Gen Alpha. It was built to trap them there. And they're going to be the first generation that really gets trapped in the metaverse and begins to have trouble distinguishing between reality and then Gen Beta, the generation that comes after Gen Alpha. They're going to, those people are going to start to be born soon. And I truly believe that generation will be could be the first generation that actually ends up like in the Matrix, where you have like human beings who are like trapped in the Matrix and being harvested. Yeah, like I think that they're like a prime candidate for that, because they're going to be a messed up generation. They're going to be a really, really messed up generation. You already see that Gen Alpha is a total train wreck. So you already know that Gen Beta is going to be a total train wreck. And these guys, they're going to call them meth heads, not like people who use illicit substances, although the effect of it will be so serious, but basically people who are completely wrapped up in the metaverse to the point where it's distorting their ability to discern reality from the reality of the metaverse. Because for them, and many of them are going to act like it's one and the same. And let me see here. Dragon Lord says, Gen Alpha is so glued to their phones, people could steal their wallets right out of their pockets without them noticing. So I've said this countless times about Gen Alpha, but I called it before many others. Many members of Gen Alpha will never enter into the workforce. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Many members of Gen Alpha will never step foot into the workforce. They will never work a normal job a day in their life. Like, there's going to end up having to be something like a UBI, something along those lines, to take care of those people, because many of them they can't read, they can't write at all. They don't have the skill sets, and they don't have the capacity. Look at Gen Z. Gen Z can't work. Gen Z doesn't want to work as it is. And Gen Alpha, yeah, they won't be working. They won't be working. Many of them will never work a day in their lives. And they will end up having to be something like a UBI, Universal Basic Income, or something along those lines to provide for these people, especially with artificial intelligence and everything. One thing that's going to happen, and this is something that employers haven't really taken into consideration, any losses that occur in relation to AI, part of it is only going to cause wages to go higher, because right now people can barely survive on what they're making. So people are going to have to start demanding more money, or saying we're not going to work. And with AI, of course, it's only going to make it more pronounced. So you're going to have a lot of people that are going to say, well, yeah, oh, you want me to do this for you? Because there are some things that AI cannot do, or you need people using AI. Because I've said this, that AI is not going to replace people. People using AI are going to replace people. And the people that have skill sets that are needed to operate AI, or to replace or to do jobs that AI cannot do, they're going to charge ridiculous amounts of money. You're going to see, guys, for example, construction workers. You're going to have a lot of construction workers making as much as doctors or more than doctors. You're gonna have a lot. You think it's a joke because a lot of them have to put their bodies at risk, and so many men now are walking away from Western society and don't want to do these jobs anymore. That the guys with the skill sets are literally going to say, okay, so here's the deal. It's gonna be like $500 an hour. Like you're gonna have a lot of dudes that are gonna say things like it's gonna be like five. They're gonna say it's 500. You want me to do this work for you? It's gonna be $500 an hour. 500. And you're gonna have to do people like electricians, because like electrician skill sets are beginning to dissipate. Like you're having fewer and fewer people who have the skill sets to be electricians. To do a lot of these types of specialty jobs, even plumbing. So you're gonna have people literally just come, like people say it's $500 an hour. Like you want me to work for you? How much is it worth to you? How much? And they're not gonna. They can't say no. They can't say no. They can complain. They can screech and holler. But considering how much money they're saving with AI and the fact that inflation has risen so much, you'll have these people who will basically say, if you want me to work for you, it's gonna be $500 an hour. Oh, your toilet isn't. You can't unclog your toilet. Yeah, that's $500. That is $500. You need your pipes fixed, right? Okay, 500. Oh, you don't want me to? Oh, you don't want to use me? I'm actually pretty honest, because the other guy's charging 600. Another guy is charging. Guys, you're gonna have people. A lot of these jobs, plumbers, electricians. You're gonna have a lot of these men making a couple $1,000s a day, couple $1,000s a day, just doing a handful of jobs. I'm telling y'all. I am telling y'all. Let me check this out right here. Dragon Lord Peter says, I don't see the government taking care of Gen Alpha, putting them in the Matrix. Yes. Oh my gosh. Proving UBI to the masses with no tax returns. Yeah, right. Guys, with everything changing, guys, you have to understand women are going to vote for it. Women are going to vote for a UBI. They're going to vote for a UBI. Gen Z is going to vote for a UBI. A lot of millennials are going to vote for a UBI. You need to understand that. It's coming. It's going to be, if it's not a straight up UBI, it'll be something. It will be some type of social welfare program. And of course, it won't be enough to survive or thrive. People are going to try to live off it, and they won't be able to live off it. But there's going to be something. It may not be a outright universal basic income, but there's going to be something, some supplemental income that people are going to get. We already have a supplemental income from SSI, but it's going to be something that's going to be much larger, because there's going to be so many people who cannot work or have given up on work, or like Gen Alpha. Guys, what do you think is going to happen to these people? Someone's going to have to pay for them. Someone's going to have to pay for these people. And yes, Tent City is a big thing, but when it's like so many people, nah, you're wrong. Y'all are wrong. Something is coming. The ghost of Andrew Yang it's a legacy that we just can't get away from. The ghost of Andrew Yang won't leave us alone. No matter how hard we try, it just keeps coming back and haunting us. I'm looking at a comment from this one guy on one of my videos. He said, single Canadian man here. I work full time. I live in a camper van, 60 grand in the bank. See what I'm saying? Like this, guys, this is really where it's going. Like a lot of these women who despise us, like men are just banking up their money. Like we have a big future ahead of us. Because guys, like I said, many of you don't realize that you're going to be living. A lot of y'all are going to be living overseas. A lot of y'all are going to have apartments overseas. You're going to have to. I'm telling you. A lot of you are going to have so much disposable income, it's crazy. And women are going to be living in extraordinary destitution because they cannot, they can't budget. Women need extravagant living. They need bulk and all kinds of other things that we just don't need. Men don't need a lot to survive, and women just don't comprehend this. And what they're really doing right now is they're all just living off the simp economy, try to get men to buy them free things. And as that dries up, and they can't turn to those of them that can't live, turn to only fools and live off only fools. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get harder for them. And I said this already. Modern day women, they did it to themselves. They chose this. They chose these hardships for themselves. They chose this life for themselves. And no one's going to come and try and rescue them from from the condition that they're in. Not this time. You know, Leonidas says Gen X and older millennials, last ones between normal and medevac. Absolutely. So Zennials. I'm a Zennial. I'm 40 years old. 83 baby here. Let me see here. Gravekeepers Van 82. I think that's another millennial. Zennial. This is going to be a spicy 30 years with economic downward spiral of America. It absolutely will be. It 100% will be. Oh boy. Dragon Peter says, I think we'll have a long starving depression before UBI. The government loves the votes, but it doesn't give a crap about welfare of people. Again, women are going to vote it in. They're going to give them some scraps. They're give them some scraps. They're going to throw them some scraps. Okay. Let me see here. Dragon Lord says, the last time the government feared the people was during the French Revolution, and that was, 600 years ago? They haven't feared us since. Listen, what if the biggest things that they will, they think that they're getting ahead, but they don't realize that it's, if you push too hard and people become too demoralized and give up and they stop working, there's no money for you guys, Let me see here. Nuada says, no one would thrive under communism because it would be under a dictatorship. Guys, here's the thing. Again, how much most men are more than fine just staying home all day. Most men don't even care anymore. Like they don't want to even leave the house. As most of us don't even want to leave the house anymore. Like we're happy like just sitting on a piece of land and like throwing things into a fire and hanging out with our dog. It's the honest to goodness truth. Like the lives of men in Western society is so hard. It's so hard. Like compared to like even some people in communist countries, because like it's different. It's really really different for us. It's really because we work so hard at everything. Like we're carrying so much debt right now. It's ridiculous. Once as if we have a roof over our heads, we're good. We'll live we don't need much to survive. We will live pretty comfortably. Oh, there's a dictator, so what? As long as he's not we'll just stay inside all the time. They'll have to come around and get us, make us leave our homes. Like we'll basically go live in nature. And there's no standing up to tyranny. None of us will stand up to tyranny. We'll just walk away. We don't give a damn. Like, it's the truth. A lot of men will just literally say, "Oh, we don't give a damn. We're just gonna go chill." And it's not gonna be men that are gonna have the hardship. It's gonna be women, because women need all these different things. Healthcare for them will decline. They'll be told what to do and when to do it, and men won't intervene. Men will just basically be chilling in silence. As long as men have food and shelter, those are the basics of a good life for a man. They really, really are. Those are the very basics of a good life for a man. Okay? Food and shelter. And like I said, we will basically a man. You can give a man a couple cans of corn and peas, and you'll be amazed. To give him a couple cans of corn, peas, and oranges, and he will turn around. He'll take the orange peels. He will turn the orange peels into candy. Okay, he will make different kinds of foods out of those corn and peas. He will make all kinds of different things. Okay, this is just how men are. Give him the right things. He'll make flour, make baked bread, everything. This is just how men are. We are survivors. We are survivors. We are built for tough. You're built for tough. Leonidas says, we will look dusty and women will despise us. We'll be good though with money and side hustles. It really doesn't. I'm telling y'all. I'm really telling y'all. And women themselves, like, what are they going to be doing? They're the ones who are going to be on the struggle bus. Like, they're not going to be able to eat. Guys, you're going to see them literally going out and demanding that the men do save them from what's happening. Like, it's like nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. They chose it for themselves, and they're going to have to live with the consequences of those decisions. They absolutely will have to live with the consequences of those decisions. Because men are done with the games, men are done with the nonsense. Men are just not generous anymore. Not feeding the SIP economy. Not feeding the SIP economy. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't. Like the video and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. So men would thrive under communism, but women would not. What do you guys think regarding everything we discussed here today and my thoughts about it? I want to know your thoughts. But and you see what we've commented here, what some of these commenters have said, in the stream. But I want to hear more about that. So we'll talk about it further in the comments. So like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.